Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Chef Dean Max. Today we're going to do something very simple and very fun, but it's also a great staple to have around the house is black beans. And I'm going to cook them in a kind of a Cuban style way. So they're going to be super healthy and very flavorful. So if you like black beans, stay with me. Click subscribe, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and don't forget to ring that bell, and I'll see you back. Hey guys, today we're going to do something super simple. We're going to show you how to cook black beans. A lot of people buy the black beans already cooked in the cans, and I mean that's fine if you want to make a quick refried black bean or you want to add some more flavor to them and try to get them boosted up. You don't have the time, but I always suggest buying the dry bean, and you've got a couple different meals in this because you can make the black beans and leave those whole and make some different dishes with that. You can have it as a side dish, or you can puree them and make a soup out of them as well. So it's really nice. One small bag is fine. So what I've done is I've taken one small bag here, and you can see the color of these are beautiful. They're purplish black, right? Now they've been soaking for a full day. I put them in cold water yesterday in the fridge, covered them with water. Now they've soaked all that water up, right? And this is clean water, so I'm not going to dump this out because it does have, if you look at this water, right, it's purple. So all that color, I don't want to lose that color. I'm going to add these beans in there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover them even more because they're going to take time to cook. Now, if you have one of these new fancy pressure cookers at home, those are great because they can cook these black beans in an hour, really creamy. And there's something about the pressure with these pressure cookers and I don't know the science behind it, but it really makes the bean very creamy. So I would highly suggest, if you have one of those, use a pressure cooker. If not, use a pot that's plenty big enough so you can always have extra water in there. You never want the beans kind of coming out of the water. They should always be submerged by like an inch. If you put too much water, it's going to dilute the flavor of your broth later, which can make a nice sauce as well, or can make a nice soup as well. So keep it about an inch over your beans. Now I've got some bay leaves here. I'm just going to plop those in the water. I've got some oregano here that I've dried from my garden. I'm going to just put all that in. Again, oregano is one of those ones you have in your garden, and it's a very strong herb, especially fresh. And so if you go to use it, you're gonna find that you have tons of it. And what do you do with it? So you dry it. So pick the leaves as it's growing, clip them off, and let them sit and air dry until they turn dehydrated. And then if you have a dehydrator, you can put them in dehydrator, it's fine. And then I pull all of the leaves off of the stems and throw the stems away, and then keep all of those leaves in a mason jar and just put a little tag on there, oregano, right? So with this too, we've got, I don't like the vegetables chopped up in this. And a lot of times when you see black beans, you'll just see the black beans cooked with the flavor of onion or garlic or all that, but it's kind of not diced up in there. And I like that. So I put all these, kind of like you're making a French chicken soup where you just put all of the whole vegetables in, and then you don't actually eat those vegetables because they're so overcooked. So same with these, they're going to be overcooked like crazy. So I just put clean, I'm going to put 4 really clean celery stalks in there. The same with carrot. Now the carrot, I'm just going to cut that in half so it fits in there like this. So I just put these whole chunks of carrot. They're going to add sweetness, and they're going to add that beautiful carrot flavor. Now with the onion, you got to keep the onion together because you want to be able to pull it out. So I just cut the onion end off like this, and then I cut the very tip of that by the root. You can see that. You see my root end there? The root's growing out. And then what you do is you cut it in half, and what that does is it's going to hold this thing together. And then you just peel off the outer layer like this, right? But the inner layers are all in there, and then you can stick it in, and later on you can easily pull this out. And you're not going to raging boil this, so those vegetables shouldn't blow up and fall apart. Now, With this too, I've got 3 garlic cloves here. I'm just gonna, actually have 4. So what I'm gonna do is just peel them real quick like this. In a way that you can peel them, there's a million different ways, but one of the ways is just crack them a little bit by smashing them like that. And then I'm gonna take this little stem off. So in case later you do wanna eat this, which the garlic is the one that I kind of do sometimes leave in there kind of as an extra little treat of flavor, but like this, just plop them in, okay? So here's another one. I'm just gonna take the end of that, and then you're able to peel that garlic pretty easy. Garlic peeling is never super easy, right? That's why, you know, this should be, like I've said in the past, this should be punishment for the kids when they've done something wrong. You can make them peel all of your garlic for you. But then they're gonna grow to love peeling garlic, and then they're gonna grow up to be chefs, and then you're in trouble. So, no, chefs are good people. I think we are, at least. But today we're gonna use an ingredient that you'll see in a lot of Cuban, a secret ingredient for their Cuban black beans is cachucho peppers. And the reason I'm actually using them and showing you is because these peppers, you can see, this is like what the container would look like. You can buy this in a standard grocery store now. They're being processed out of Central America. We don't grow a lot of this type of pepper in America. They're grown in the Caribbean. Now you can see there's different colors, green and red, orange, right? Look, see, I'll show you 3 different colors. Look at that. So they look like a Scotch bonnet. A Scotch bonnet is named after like the look of the hat, how it's like a Scotch bonnet, right? And these look like a Scotch bonnet. And then when you pop the seed off of the stem off a little bit, like you open them a little, they smell kind of like one too. But there's no heat. Like a Scotch bonnet, you would not be able to take this kind of a bite and not burn the heck out of you. So what we're gonna do is these peppers, I just want to break them like this and plop them in. So we're gonna pull them out later as well. So we just cut them like that. We don't cut through them, we just break into them like a little bit. So I'm gonna probably take, I don't know, see how I break into that? Like, I like to add, some people add just 1, but I love the flavor of this pepper. So I'm gonna add in like 4, 5 of these peppers in there. Look at that, right? All right, now, black pepper. Now, one of the myths of black beans is whether you add salt or not. A lot of people say, oh, we don't add salt, it can make it tough, but I think it's just kind of a urban myth. We've done it both ways, and actually I think they're creamier sometimes with the salt, especially when you marinate the salt, a little salt when you soak them overnight. So I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons in there. I don't wanna put too much because you can't take it out, right? So let's just put it in and let it cook, and then when it's done we can add more. But I do like it absorbing somewhat of a salty liquid when it's pulling that inside of it as well, inside of the bean. So what we're gonna do is bring this to a boil. Once this comes to a boil, we're gonna turn it to a light simmer, just bubbling simmer, not rapid simmer, light simmer. Rapid will break the skins off of these beans, and then they'll look all beat up when we're done. And then you can only puree them or do them as refried beans. We want to be able to have these beautiful whole beans intact. So to do that, you got to cook them a little bit less flame, but they'll cook a little longer, but they're going to be beautiful and whole when they're done. And they're going to, it really gives them time to extract all the great flavor from these vegetables. So super simple, right? Let's bring this to a boil, and then we're going to turn it down to a simmer, and probably simmer it for at least an hour. If you soak the beans overnight, at least an hour, hour and a half. And I will let you know how long this takes. So stay with me, and we'll be back when these have cooked for a while. Okay. Hey guys, we're back in the kitchen, and this has cooked for it probably took about an hour and a half. So what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna take a look at it. What I do is I go through and I take all those big vegetables out and throw them away. Now what you could do, if you see any bay leaves in there, you should grab them. Sometimes, you know, people like can, you know, well, they choke on them because they're not paying attention, but they can be dangerous, you know, because they're still hard. So be careful with bay leaves because they do still have that crunch to them. If you get them caught in your throat, it's not fun. So everything you can see, these all these vegetables have been cooked, and all the flavor from them has been sucked out. If you hate wasting stuff, what you could do is put that in a NutriBowl with all these vegetables and blend them up, and then put them back in the soup if you wanted to. But I just basically put them to the side here and throw those out. The garlic is the only one that, like I said, you might want to leave in there. But otherwise, the rest of them I pull out and discard, because you've really, you know, the beans cooking for that long have really, you know, sucked up all that flavor. See, there's a little piece of bay leaf. So now with this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour nice amount of that black bean in there. Look how rich that is now. You see how like beautiful this black bean is? It's so, the broth is so rich. You can see there's a little piece of garlic right there. You could leave that in if you want. I mean, it's garlic, come on, right? But just, even when you taste, I want to taste just the broth. Wow. All those vegetables and the peppers, it gives it almost a meaty flavor. There's no meat in this. It's a really great vegetarian dish or vegan dish because, you know, you've got a lot of protein in beans. And look at the beans. You see how they're not broken all apart? They're still all very whole, right? But they're super soft and not mushy, but just perfectly cooked. There's no bite left in them. I mean, al dente, you never leave a bean al dente. And the big mistake people make is as you're tasting the bean, they think, oh, it's al dente, so I'll take it off now, and by the time it cools in the liquid, it'll cook through. That's not the case. Cook a bean until it's perfectly cooked, and then pull it off and let it sit in the liquid. It's not going to overcook. But what it won't do is carry overcook by just pulling it off like that. So cook it till it's fully cooked through. And you end up with perfectly creamy beans. Now, I know it seems real basic, but so many people have a problem making a nice black bean. If you bought these in the store in a jar or a can, I mean, you're never going to get that same flavor that you're going to get by putting your vegetables in there and cooking it gently. And so I would suggest making these like this. Now I've got some recipes that I'll be doing in the future, so check out that. But these black beans like this, I basically keep them in their liquid in a mason jar in the fridge, and then you want to have like rice and beans and maybe some roasted chicken with it or something. It's great. It's just a great protein to have. It's also a great source of protein if you're not eating a lot of meat. You can have this with other grilled vegetables. It's really good. And then, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to puree. When I get down towards the last bit, I'm going to go ahead and puree some up with a little bit of chicken stock. Or if I could, I'll probably end up leaving it vegan actually because there's so much flavor in this. I'll probably saute some other ingredients like fresh turmeric and a little bit of onion, green onion, and then add the beans to it, and then add more water to it, and then puree it and make like a soup. And from that soup, we're going to add other vegetables on top of it as a garnish. So I'll have that in the future. So keep an eye out. Make sure you click on there. So I'll send you stuff in the future. Ring that bell, and what that'll do is I'll make sure that every time I come up with a new video, you'll get an announcement of it. So I hope you like this. Really simple, great black beans, beautiful flavor, very healthy, and you should be cooking them at home. So see you soon in the kitchen. I'm Chef Dean Max.